Starting. Hello. Hello, everyone. This is Six Shot Changer.
Hi, it's all in the blur.
And we're back for episode 19 of the Transformers and Such podcast. And today we're doing our first Action Force stroke G.I. Joe podcast. So this is going to be interesting. And we have quite an interesting cast as well with us today. So over to Mr. Hot Ronnie Prime. Quick introduction.
Hello, everybody. I hope you are well.
And also with us today we have Cyber Tiger.
Hi everybody, how you doing?
Hopefully
nice to be a part of this.
Hopefully you recognise these guys from YouTube. We'll put links to their channels as well at the in the description. And also we have Pex, as always.
What's going on?
Are you with us, Pex?
I don't know. Am I here? Hello.
You're just here.
Is that an eagle?
Is that an eagle, sir?
It's Griffin.
Oh, it's a griffin. Oh, look, it's cute.
Very nice.
Ye gods, what a vicious beast.
You're cute.
Awesome. And hopefully we might well have the Monolith with us as well. So,
At some point.
Yeah, at some point. Right, so let's get on to our mascots then. Do you want to go first? No.
I got.
Hold it to the camera. Crocmaster.
Yay!
Very awesome. Very awesome.
I have got the crocodile too, but he's in a box at the moment.
And I've got this one's my favourite G.I. Joe figure ever. I've got a few favourites, but this is my ultimate favourite, the BAT. So I reviewed this a little while ago now, but it's a lot of fun. Got loads of playability. So there you go. That's mine. Gary, what's yours?
I've got a barbecue because I went to a family barbecue tonight, and it actually, I'm asking everybody what the name of this bloody thing were, what I found this weekend on a car boot sale, and nobody actually told me until somebody just went, oh, it's barbecue. And I went, God, yeah, it's barbecue, isn't it? And it's got its own little axe and everything.
You
It's
should have
really
asked
cool.
me, that was my first ever Joe figure. Or
That's a good, isn't it?
figure, yeah.
Grand total of 50 pence off the car boot sale. Steve's
Yay,
back.
Steve.
Oh,
Yay!
he's still muted, by the way.
Yeah, he is
Oh,
muted.
no.
Yeah, it is. Let me see if I can fix it.
Or maybe Steve can fix it.
Steve, unmute
Monolith.
yourself.
Can you hear us, Monolith? I am back, but I am still muted.
He's back.
But he is still
And the
muted.
same as ever.
Is there
Yeah.
something on your microphone that's muted you?
Possibly an
He
old
can't
Bible.
hear us, so he can't hear us. So I'll ask him that in the chat. Hang on.
He
But
would just
what
be our mute member of the community.
Yeah, a mute member of the
Snake eyes.
Transformers and Butch podcast.
Every
Yeah,
community
snake eyes.
needs a mute member.
That's he's the snake eyes of the group.
Yeah.
Genius. Well done, Natalie.
Clap, 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 clap.
That's crazy.
Clap, 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 clap.
So, as I said, G.I. Joe. So I've got loads of stuff to try and cover in a short space of time. But what we also have is the ability for the viewers to ask questions live. So we'll be going to check that out to see if you've got any questions. I think, Pechu, we're going to see if you could bring up some screen sharing at some point with vehicles and the different ways.
Yeah. Let's just say there is no way in hell I'm going through the same level of looking through each one as we did last time, because I'm not somebody who knows G.I. Joe. I've never really been into this stuff. I'm aware of it and stuff. So I just kind of pulled up the a website and looked. That no, just no.
Okay. Well, if you could bring up the images, I think Cyber Tiger is our resident expert on Action Force stroke G.I. Joe. Would you agree with that, Cyber Tiger?
I think so. And look, I found my mascot.
Oh, fantastic!
Yay.
I've got Cobra Commander from the Rise of Cobra movie.
Nice. That's very cool. And is that the same scale then as the rest of the JoJo's?
Yeah, pretty much. I think they got slightly bigger as the line went along. Only very slightly bigger though.
Yeah.
But pretty much, yeah. 3 3/4 inch.
Awesome. So it works with all the old vehicles and stuff like that.
I think up until this line they did, but I think some of the modern Joes now they don't. I think there's a different peg size, which is a pain. But they did change the peg size, so you have to be careful that you don't, snap off like this part of the heel,
Yeah. That's interesting. Okay. Awesome. Well, what I thought we'd do is we'd sort of move through time with Action Force, because there's a lot of viewers who may or may not know, about the history in the background, and obviously try and avoid spoilers while still giving people information. So, right back at the beginning of Action Force, back in the Palitoy days, for those that know about that, do you want to give us a rundown of that, Cyber Tiger? Just give people a bit of background to where it all started off.
Well, in the early 80s, when G.I. Joe was undergoing a massive resurgence in America, it went from the big sort of 12-inch dolls down to the 3 3/4 inch figures that we know today.
Yeah.
And Palitoy created a series of figures that kind of had the same articulation as the old Star Wars figures from Kenner. They just had like the straight arms that could move up and down and the straight legs that could move up and down. They didn't have like the swivel arm battle grip and everything that we know. That figures of this era have.
Right.
The articulation was quite basic, but it was more closely modelled on the British Army. It wasn't so much international heroes at that point. It was a specialist team of British commandos and SAS and frogmen and that sort of thing.
Well, we used to have the Action Man, didn't we?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I would say that the 3 3/4 inch Action Force figures from Palitoy were like the continuation of the original Action Man, because on some of the early packaging you still had the Action Man logo.
And did you have any of the original Action Man, the bigger figures when you were young?
Yes, when I was very young, I had a massive, great big armoured tank that you could fit the whole figure inside. And I remember I used to have great fun pushing that along the living room carpet and having all sorts of battles. But predominantly then it went on to the 3 3/4 inch size.
Yeah, and I remember that those figures were more rubbery, weren't they? And
They were indeed, yeah.
They didn't have articulation on the elbows or on the knees.
And some of the figures as well, because coincidentally, I recently did a collaboration video with Hooded Cobra Commander 788 about the early Palitoy Action Force. And he noticed as well that some of the figures have their arms moulded as though they're holding guns.
Yeah.
And he wasn't too keen on that side of things. But that didn't bother me really. But I just like the realism that they had. They weren't so much sci-fi army. They were more down-to-earth army at that point. I mean, things did get silly in Action Force where some of the Red Shadows characters were concerned.
Well, I have one question, actually. When the original villain of Action Force was the Red Baron?
Yes. Yeah.
Was he originally invented in the UK version, or was he actually invented in the G.I. Joe version, the America
He was
version?
invented in the UK version.
Because he's actually passed over, hasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he's actually in the current IDW universe. Yeah, believe it or not, the Red Shadows exist as we speak now. I think I've lost track with the Revolutionary storyline, but I think it's the series where Optimus Prime is sort of on his own, kind of like All Hail Optimus kind of thing, and the follow-on from that. Baron Ironblood and the Red Shadows are currently attacking Cybertron, so it's very... it's a right old mix.
Awesome. I remember as a kid, I used to have a few of the original Action Men figures, and I had, I don't know if you remember, there was a helicopter, and it had 4 blades, and it had sort of the transparent bubble at the front and then the open sides, and then you could spin the rotor blades around, and it had the little sort of legs at the bottom that were kind of like frames, upper climbing frame style legs.
Yeah, it was quite a massive set as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, I used to love that
set.
thing.
Yeah.
It was huge.
Wow.
I used to remember the Red Skull. There was like a TIE fighter, but it was like a giant skull in the middle.
Yes, the Robo Skull. Yeah.
That was an absolutely beautiful toy.
I always wanted that.
It was a bright red skull with just like black eyes, and then they actually got the Hiss tank, which was I never understood if they actually got the Hiss tank, and it was originally the UK design because it was way back, and the driver of it was like Destro, but it was actually like the Hiss tank driver.
Yeah. And he was a Red Jackal.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there was the Kraken as well, wasn't there? The Kraken was...
and Skeletron.
Yes. Oh, they were beautiful toys. Kraken was basically a green, like lizardy kind of thing with like a little red leotard thing with the skull on the front now.
He was basically one of the aliens from V.
So yeah, I remember
he
V.
was one of the aliens from V.
Yeah, I remember that. That was a good show.
Yeah, the old
only 80s children would understand that one.
Yeah, Dynasty in Space.
Yeah, I used to have the Hiss tank, and I had the driver for it secondhand. I had most of my stuff secondhand, and that was great fun. I remember it was very hollow inside, so you could put lots of figures in it and stuff.
Yeah,
it was great stuff that was, and that was of course all part of the Palitoy era, wasn't it?
Yes,
right. Yes. Yeah, and then they gradually started to introduce characters from the American line into the British Action Force.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, Flint, and some of them originally had weird colours, and they changed the names. Have we lost Steve again?
Yeah, I think he's going to try and come back in.
Oh, right, okay, cool. But yeah, they changed the names around. So Gung Ho became Gaucho. Snake Eyes, I believe, became Stalker.
Mm.
And you know,
Sergeant Slaughter was Sergeant Slammer. I remember right.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I got him for Christmas 1987.
with the Slammer tank.
Yeah.
But even though if you watch WWF, you know that it was called WWF back then.
Which I did.
But you know that it was actually Sergeant Slaughter. Yeah. And in the show, it was actually voiced by the guy who did Sergeant Slaughter, which was a very strange thing.
I have one memory that sticks with me forever. I think I might have mentioned it in one of my videos that I actually met the Sarge.
You did, yeah. I saw that video, yeah.
Yeah, and he is a really, really great guy. Away from the wrestling persona, he's actually quite softly spoken. I mean, he's got a bit of gravel to his voice, but you know, to actually meet one of your heroes, and he signed one of his T-shirts from the 90s that I had. You know, the old World Wrestling Federation as it was back then. It was better back then as well. You had your heroes, you had your villains. Nowadays, I think they're all the same.
Yeah.
A lot of the characters
they still do face and heel. It's just the crowd kind of picks a bit more of who's who, really.
Yeah, it does seem now that a lot of the mystery has gone.
Well, the internet killed kayfabe at the end of the day.
Yeah. And of course, when all the older wrestlers started doing all their autobiography books, didn't they? And it all broke down with
blame Mick Foley for that.
Mick Foley and his 19 fucking autobiography.
Yeah, but Mick Foley can write a book. We can give him that. We can give him that.
Can't barely string a sentence together, but can write a book.
He can write a book, and his books are good. His books are very, very good.
Well, I mean, I remember him as
speaking from someone that's read all his books.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was great. It was great to meet, you know, at that point, because obviously I was a lot younger back in. I met him at one of the European Rampage tours because I had the good fortune to go to SummerSlam 1992 that took place at the old Wembley Arena.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to see the Legion of Doom, the Road Warriors, and they rode into the arena on their Harley Davidsons, and it was just
crashed it because he was hungover.
Yeah, just a great great event, really.
I can imagine those sort of things are very memorable actually in a collector's life. It's going to be one of those that you won't forget in a hurry.
Yeah. I mean, I took a load of stuff for the Sarge to sign. He signed my Sergeant Slammer box because he was actually quite interested to see that he was called Sergeant Slammer in England and it was called Action Force.
Yeah.
Because, you know, he had the whole packaging there to look at and he was turning it around and he was like, oh, this is really, really cool. And I said, well, take a look at the bio and see if there's anything that changes there for you, you know. And he was quite interested to see the changes on the file card as well.
That's awesome. So, I mean, again, from the transition from Palatoy into the actual Action Force before it became G.I. Joe over here, how I got into it, and I guess others might be the same, is the Transformers comics. And
Yes.
in the back of the Transformers comics, they had a short comic book of G.I. Joe. And that kind of went on for some time and eventually led into a crossover. So I guess you guys have all gone through that as well.
Definitely. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. So Gary, what you're holding up there, I'll just
Ancient
This is the Versus comic that they did when they crossed over to Transformers book, and it was actually drawn by the mighty Jeff Rossini and written by Simon Furman as well. But some of the advertisements on the back were the Action Force toys that they actually back in the day.
Yeah.
And it was a beautiful comic. It was really, really nice. Even one of my favourite bits when I used to actually get this comic book, like back from the newsagents back in the day, was a book called Combat Colin. And Combat Colin was a little comic book strip that was written just strictly for the UK scene. It was just like a little bit of fun, and it was such a great little strip.
And semi-automatic Steve.
yeah, semi-automatic. Just so you know that this guy here is semi-automatic Steve.
yeah.
He doesn't look semi-automatic in any shape, way, or form, I assure you. But but there was like there were certain little things that they actually put back in the comic that just to. But one of the things that they actually put as a backup story was, I think it was the Fist of, yeah, we go, Master of Kung Fu. I mean, we never read Master of Kung Fu unless it was in the actual Action Force comic. And it was such a great little story. And I used to love these things. And all that, like the mail call that was done, it was a UK strictly based, like, thing that everybody used to write in the old days, but writing stuff on a piece of paper and sending it into people. No emails or anything like that. It was such a great comic. And me and my friend Paul, we used to go and get these kind of things week in, week out from our newsagents, and good times. This and Transformers at the same time. This is what makes you like a child. This is what makes you happy.
We were lucky to be around at that era, really, weren't we?
Yeah. I'm a 42-year-old, and I'm happy that in 1987 I can actually go to a comic book, not a comic book shop, an actual newsagent, and go buy this for the grand total of 32 pence.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Pushing the boat out when they had
how
it
much
at 2 pence.
an IDW comic costs nowadays.
Oh, yeah,
For
absolutely.
one thin comic.
Yeah, I've got the volume 8 here of the old G1, and I've also got all the individual issues as well. But I like to use this because I don't worry about damaging it as much as the originals. And in this one, as you can see on the back, this has a lot of the crossover stuff, going on inside. So yeah, loads of fun seeing the Transformers and the Action Force G.I. Joe teams. I mean, you guys have seen all this before, but they're Serpentor with Dr. Mindbender and Shockwave, so absolutely brilliant. Really love it.
That was a cool mini crossover, that one as well.
Yeah, people forget because
wasn't it? That was the first G.I. Joe Transformers crossover.
It was, and when it goes so long, people forget how good it was, and really they need to go back and look at it again.
Yeah.
And did you guys like the more modern G.I. Joe versus Transformers, the Scioli and Barber one?
Well, no, in my opinion, the more when it comes to the modern interpretation of the crossover, there is only one beautifully crafted one. That's the Jay Lee one that was done through
The
Dreamwave.
World War II one.
That was
Yeah.
beautiful. The artwork that Jay Lee is a fantastic artist in his own right, but the art that was done in this, I would just grab one page off of and it was just
I wish they'd have used some of that in the movies.
This deserves a movie in its own right. If Michael Bay can keep making this shit, then he keeps piling out, that he should, by rights, make this a film. I don't know if Pat Lee will be allowing, because Pat Lee's a big hack, but this is a beautifully crafted book. It never got the credit it deserved. Jay Lee is a fabulous artist.
And that was from the Dreamwave era, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. And they first brought the resurgence of Transformers back into the public eye, really.
Well, I mean, a lot of people call it Dreamwave because of the Pat Lee situation, but if it wasn't for Pat Lee, there'd be no IDW. That's the bottom line.
Yeah. Because I remember I started collecting those, and also when the massive 80s resurgence happened, because you've got the G.I. Joe title from, I think it was it Image or Epic Comics?
Yeah.
And then it became Devil's Due. And then it's all IDW now, isn't it, really?
Yes.
Yeah, they've got the license from Hasbro, haven't they, to do the comics? Yeah.
Well, IDW have the license to do all the Hasbro stuff, so they've got Mask and ROM and all the rest of them now, haven't they?
My Little Pony.
They just mash them all together.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure how they're going to work all of that into a cinematic universe, but I guess time will tell, won't it, really?
I just want to see the My Little Pony G.I. Joe crossover. That's going to be the one for me.
You know what? I really fucking want to see a My Little Pony Transformers and G.I. Joe crossover.
Oh, yeah.
Channing Tatum riding a My Little Pony while shooting at Megatron.
Tatum's dead.
Yeah.
Is he dead?
He only lasted 2 seconds in retaliation.
Oh,
Yeah.
No, he's not dead. He's going to get in there. If you know nothing about these comic book things, it's going to come back from the dead. He's going to get on Sparkle Princess and just go in there.
Going to show up and just fucking ruin the fucking lot of them. That's all I know.
We need to be careful, guys, because then they'll start shoehorning in Rainbow Bright and Strawberry Shortcake.
Oh, that'd be amazing. Oh my God. I am a brony deep down inside. I think I love My Little Ponies, because I've got a daughter and she loves My Little Ponies. I went to a car boot sale and accidentally took every single My Little Pony for a cup for about £3. I'm like, oh my God, it's amazing. All the little new ones.
My daughter's the same.
So yeah, My Little Pony, G.I. Joe, and Transformers crossover. I'm having that.
Hey, if you've never watched it, they Screw Attack did a decent. I think it was Rainbow Dash versus Starscream, if I remember rightly. Well worth a watch. If you want to see a giant robot fight a exceedingly fast flying pony.
I bet Starscream lost.
I can't actually remember who won that one. The only one I remember is Deadpool versus Pinkie Pie, and they then invaded reality and quote unquote killed Whiz and Boomstick, because both Pinkie Pie and Deadpool break the fourth wall, so, and apparently have no limit to either of their powers.
So, just while I quickly check to see if we've had any questions from viewers, what about thoughts on the animated G.I. Joe movie? What do you guys make of that?
I enjoyed it, actually, for what it was. Yeah.
The animated G.I. Joe movie.
Yeah.
It was never ever going to be as good as the Transformers movie, was it?
No.
And it's a shame, because I think they actually put as much effort into it as they did for the Transformers movie.
Yeah, the animation was better.
It's just so. and perfectly in that kind of era that it just caught the imagination of everybody. And the G.I. Joe movie kind of just got ignored. But it's a good movie. The G.I. Joe movie is a good movie. But I personally think that Rise, Serpentora Rise is a better than the movie that they did. The one that, with Sergeant Slaughter, when they actually invent Serpentor.
Yeah.
It's a great little story.
It's got some good dialogue in it as well, hasn't it? Some brilliant interplay between Serpentor and Cobra Commander.
Can you get him?
It's a
And
good,
Laser Sarge as
it's a
well.
good little story.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember having those on VHS.
Me
if any,
too.
any youngsters are watching this and they're like, what the hell's VHS? Well, back in the Stone Age, we had video cassettes.
It's
Right,
an
guys,
awkward, it's an
just quickly,
awkward
we've got-
piece of equipment. Go on, Christopher.
So we've got a load of live chat stuff going on. So finish what you need to say, Gary, and then I'll start off with some questions and points from that.
I was going to describe VHS to people, but I'm sure that you understand exactly what it is.
We all have those memories.
It was a rock tablet with information chiseled upon it. There. As far as the kids are concerned, that's pretty much it.
So from the viewers, we've got Jeff Solo, Quantum Surge. We've also got Cobra Nerds, Olsen 85, Cyverse Ty, and
What's Jeff Solo want to say? I want to know what Jeff Solo wants to say because he's my mate.
yeah,
It's all righty.
he says alrighty. We've got Transaran 38, and we've also got Destruction Snake Pit, and we've also got F. Cornea. So quite a few people in the group chat at the moment. Right, Nat, do you want to handle the group chat? And
I can handle the group chat.
fantastic. Okay, so tell us when you're ready, Nat. And in the meantime, I'm just going to quickly say what I think of the movie. So, I liked it a lot. There was only one problem I had with that film. The constant "Go Joe" that drove me crazy.
Go, Joe.
Yeah,
Full force.
yeah, full force. Yeah,
That was the version we got originally, wasn't it?
that's right.
And it was overdubbed.
Yeah, yeah. It was just a little bit too much of it, I think.
When was the transition between it being Joe and Action Force? What was the date when that actually decided that they'd had enough of it being Action Force and they wanted to change it over? I just want to know. Come on, cause
I think
Go.
it was around about 1990. Maybe even 1991.
Oh, sorry, I think we blipped there, guys.
are we okay?
We're okay. Yeah.
You've
Yeah,
disappeared
okay.
though, Chris.
Am I not?
You're just an icon on the screen.
Yeah.
Okay, my camera's back now.
Hello.
There it is.
Sorry about that, folks. So carry on, Gary. You were saying something?
I mean, I always Action Force was the thing, and I remember I never ever got into it when it transcended Action Force. It was always Action Force. I was never a fan of it when it was G.I. Joe, and then like years and years and years later, I got back into it when it eventually became G.I. Joe, and but I understand it was the same, even at the time I remember it being the same thing, but it was because British people was always going to accept it as being Action Force. It was going to be Action Force, and we were never going to call it G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
I was just wondering when it was actually the transition period of when it actually went and they erased Action Force from the history books. Essentially, that's how it happened.
Yeah, it happened towards the later run of the Transformers comic, because it once again Action Force became the secondary comic. So we had all sorts of stuff. We had Inhumanoids, Machine Man, all sorts of secondary comics in there, didn't we?
Yeah.
At one point, but I think it was definitely in the 90s. I can't remember now. My brain's not working. But yeah, it became G.I. Joe: The Action Force for a while. So
Yeah.
the Action Force still survived a little bit, but as a tagline.
Yeah.
And then it ultimately just faded away, and everything then that you could buy on the shops was G.I. Joe.
So for the viewers, Chris, I mean, we know a lot of these things about each other, but did you ever have any of the original Action Force comic books?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had
The battle ones as well.
Yeah, the battle ones. Yeah,
Mm.
I had the very first issue, and because they were more like newspapers than comic books, they felt like 2000 AD used to be back in the day.
Yeah.
If anybody remembers that great tome, you know, and Judge Dredd and all that. Well, I used to collect that, but that was more because it was bought for me at that point. I had the very first issue where the Red Shadows storm the beaches at I think it's Ascendancy Island, and they just wipe out all the islanders that live there, and it's really brutal stuff because the Red Shadows essentially are World War II Nazis. They're the Nazi stormtroopers.
Yeah,
Just wear red.
they even they look like Nazis, didn't they?
Yeah, with the shape of the battle helmets that they wear, with the exception of the mask, you know.
So that was nothing to do with G.I. Joe then?
Not at that point. No. It was even pre-Action Force.
The thing is, right, that I remember Storm Shadow being introduced into Battle Action Force.
Yes, and Deathstroke.
Was Storm Shadow a G.I. Joe character, or was he originally a Action Force character?
He was a G.I. Joe. G.I. Joe through and through. Yeah.
Right, so they basically incorporated him into the story.
Yeah, and as
can you hear me?
Hey,
Steve. Good God, Steve!
Hi.
Right.
How hard was that?
We got
Steve,
him.
what's your mascot? Get it out of the way. Come on.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
What did you
this
say?
guy,
Shadow.
ultimate
Storm Shadow.
Ultimate
Thank God
Storm
for that.
Shadow.
We were just talking about that.
Sorry, I actually had to go through my phone. I don't know what's happening with my computer, but like the sound was working earlier, and then I got muted by accident, and then nothing came back and nothing worked.
Damn Cobra.
Yeah, no doubt, huh?
Well, the thing is, Steve, I'm sorry to tell you, but you've missed all the talk about wrestling that we had earlier on. So it's gone now. What one thing Cyber Tiger needs to know is actually Steve is the monolith. He is actually a wrestler.
Oh wow, great!
Did you ever meet Sergeant Slaughter?
Yes. Yeah, a number of years ago, but yes, I did meet Sergeant Slaughter.
He's a great guy.
He is pretty wicked.
Yeah.
What's that?
He's a great guy.
Oh, yeah. He's hilarious, actually. I've been doing professional wrestling for about 24 years now. So.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, something I got handy here. I don't know if I've ever actually shown these before, but I can do a quick showing here because I just got them handy. Is
your belt? Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
Let me make you presenter.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the real deal. That thing's about 25 pounds. And this one's about 18. Yeah.
Steve, that first belt, was that the old NWA belt?
Actually, it goes back further than that. That is a generic championship that was started in the 60s.
Wow.
It was appropriated by Ric Flair because he loved the design so much. And he ended up making his version in the 70s, cost him $60,000.
Wow.
Which, if you know anything about North America and the pricing back then,
yeah,
that was enough to buy about 2 average houses.
Damn.
But you know what?
Yeah,
somehow that suits Ric Flair, doesn't it? That his whole persona, that just suits him.
Woo! Yeah.
The nature boy. I love the NWA era of wrestling. You know, before it became WCW.
I like a lot of stuff earlier than that. Big fan. Like I was. I don't know if it was discussed in here. I actually had the privilege of being able to train with the Harts.
Really?
In particular, Stu Hart and Keith Hart.
Me and Chris,
Wow.
me and Steve have talked about this for a while about the dungeon. Go on, Steve. Tell us.
Oh, nightmares.
The dungeon of
I-
pain.
I'm going to go for a wee while he tells you all this lot.
No, honest to God, I still wake up in sweats sometimes, remembering, the horrors. They called it a dungeon for a reason. Stu Hart at 80 years old would hobble down the stairs with that bad leg of his, and he'd hit the mat, and he was like a 20-year-old. And when he got a hold of you, he broke your shit. Like, again, you think about it. Stu Hart, nearing the end of his life, was 80 years old. I was about 19, 20 years old, 6'3", 350 pounds. I benched 500 pounds. I did 1,600 pounds on the 45-degree press. And that man got a hold of me and made me cry like a little bitch. And it was funny because Keith would hear me screaming. And Stu, after he'd toddle off and he'd look and go, big mountain boy, just 6-7 minutes. And I'm gimped up going, oh God, it hurts. Put me out of my misery. And Keith is like, that's a great honor. And I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, most people can't make it a minute and a half. He goes, you got 6-7 minutes? He goes, that's incredible.
That actually sounds a lot like Vern Gagne's wrestling school in Minnesota. The
Actually,
old AWA.
Well, that's the sad thing. Vern Gagne was a student of Stu Hart's.
Was he really?
Vern Gagne had originally started out, he was a promoter and whatnot, his family, the Gagne family, and to get more seasoning, Vern Gagne's father sent him to Stampede Wrestling territory under Stu Hart.
Oh, right, okay. It's fascinating
you'd
how
be
it all
surprised.
links.
Well, you'd be surprised at how many of the actual WWF legends themselves, from the 70s and 80s, all came out of Stu Hart's territory.
Yeah.
Is Steve still talking about the dungeon?
We're still in the dungeon.
Oh my God!
Let's just go over to the questions. Nat's got the questions from the viewers. So, Nat, do you want to go into that next?
Okay, so just a few questions. Lots of people saying, "Hey, what's up?" So, Quantum Surge said, "You know that feeling when you find what you want on eBay and then see its countdown being done."
Yeah.
Oh, we've all been there.
Yeah.
You've just got to hope that you don't get sniped with someone who's got a faster computer.
Oh, yeah.
How many times have we been sat there and thinking, I've got it.
Bing.
Oh, bastard.
Especially when it's an auction that doesn't finish till 1 a.m. in the morning and you've stayed
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You trudge off to bed completely defeated, don't you?
Fuck this.
Oh, yeah.
So close.
Kicking the cat along the way.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's always Pex that snipes me as well.
Oh, yeah. Bullshit.
Hex, you bastard.
So you've got the boxed Defiant.
So I got a question. Since I missed the beginning intro with the things, did anyone else have the Ultimate Storm Shadow or
Oh, I haven't got Storm Shadow here.
No.
no?
I did have him.
Cobra
I did have him.
Commander.
I used to have the version 2 as a kid with the wolf. That was awesome.
Oh yeah, that one was pretty wicked. Yeah.
I
love that.
remember having the thing about Storm Shadow. Used to have the little like samurai swords with them, didn't he? And it was just the when you see in the packaging with you used to pick it via how many weapons you used to have. It was such a good choice. And you think, Storm Shadow's got that 15 weapons and all stars and everything. Oh, God,
I
it's such a
used to
good
love his bow. His bow was the best.
Yes. Oh,
Actually, that's one thing I really love about the Ultimate version is that his bow and one arrow can fit into the backpack.
Nice.
I love this Storm Shadow little tattoo thing that he had on his arm with the stripes. That was
Yeah.
that was such a good little thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the origin story of Storm Shadow as well. And Snake Eyes is at
Yeah.
the same time. The because they both have the little stripe thing on their arm, didn't they?
Yeah.
Like full stripe, half stripe, that kind of thing. That was just a good story.
You'd be surprised the amount of Joe fans that actually have that as a tattoo.
Yes, yeah, it's a good thing. I mean, that is the ultimate thing, isn't it? As being a Joe fan, is having that tattoo on your arm, surely.
Yeah, or a cobra symbol.
Yeah.
No, surely the Storm Shadow one's
The funny thing is, it's surprising that you get more G.I. Joe fans have the Cobra logo than the G.I. Joe star and stripes.
Yeah,
Really
well,
weird.
I would as well. I would have the Cobra because I'm more of a fan of
It's
the
cooler.
Yeah.
It's cooler though, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's got that
The
iconic
Cobra
look.
sounds cool.
But the bad guys are always cooler. It's like we just mentioned earlier on the Crimson guys, and to me, they're the coolest uniform. You know it's red. They're evil. You know the Crimson Skulls, whatever. They're just evil.
I do love the old blue shirts. I take the mickey out of them mercilessly, you know.
Yeah.
It's like, the prisoner, he's escaping, you know. It just makes me laugh.
Well, they're the stormtroopers, aren't they, of G.I. Joe?
It's like, no shit, Sherlock. You know, don't just stand there, start shooting. And then you always get the one commander of the unit that's clued up. And he's like, after him, you cretins.
But they never hit anybody.
They never get them. No, it's like a couple of panels on, they blow up, and it's like, arg! Bye-bye, blue shirts.
What's the next question, Nat?
So, Destruction Snake Pit says, can't sit up and watch live, so I'll just say this. Full Force always sounded better to me than Yo-Jo.
Yeah.
Pyramid of Darkness was awesome, and even though it wasn't great, I enjoyed Sink the Montana. And he also loved the toy Action Force toy adverts on the VHS he owned.
That was cool.
Cyberverse Ty said G.I. Joe is awesome. I really like the idea of those two crossing over. I'm assuming he means Transformers and G.I. Joe, not My Little Pony. Sorry, Gary.
Oh,
damn it.
we all know
My Little
ponies.
Pony. G.I. Joe and My Little Pony.
How did the old song go? My little pony is skinny and bony.
Lives in the stable, drinks Carling Black Label.
Yeah. Carling Black Label. Showing our age now.
Holson85 said he's going to come back just like Autobot Spike. I'm assuming he means Channing Tatum.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Probably.
F-Stop Cunnia said he picked the film up from CEX for 50p. Bargain.
Can't argue with that.
Bargain.
I think kind of ripped off, to be honest, because it's a shit film, isn't it?
Oh, not even going to pay for it. And finally, Cobra Nerd says, "What's everybody think of the TFN exclusive figure?"
Which one? Because there's more than one.
There's a new one.
There's a Bumblebee. There's a Bumblebee.
It's a Bumblebee, but the female.
It's the G1 Bumblebee. You know when they were a little like
flying shell
spaceship.
thing.
That's the thing. It's done in blue and it's called Endo. I saw it earlier on and I went, oh, it's nice. It's 35 bastard quid and I don't want it.
Yeah, same.
If I can't get it for under a fiver, I don't want it.
I mean, if it was yellow.
You're exactly right.
I'm not
buying anything that was under a fucking.
We're not saying that Gary's tight. We're not saying that Gary's tight.
I am tighter than the duck's arsehole, and I am proud of the fact. It's called Rune, apparently. Rune. Shall I bring it up? Shall I bring it up on my screen?
Go on.
Go.
Yeah, go on.
Hold on. Let me find it. Yeah.
And have you got some stuff to show us, Pex? Did you manage to find any vehicles? And
I've got a web page here that has an awful lot of stuff listed.
awesome. So, Cyber Tiger, get ready to narrate. I'm just gonna
I'll warn you.
get Mr. Brian Smith here to present for us.
If you want to grab my screen, Christopher, here we go.
There we go.
Are we there?
I think you just got to hit share.
You just got to hit share screen.
Have I got to hit share? Have I got to hit something?
Yeah.
Yeah. You've got to.
How do I do
Not
that?
seen anything, mate.
It's on the top left. The little green one says screen share.
Well, it says screen
Top
share.
left? No,
Top
no.
left.
There's nothing in my because you're making me use Chrome because I hate using Chrome. I tell you what.
While you're doing that, we'll go over to Pex, and then you can tell us when you got it, Brian. Here you go, Pex. You're presenting, mate.
Oh, good Lord Almighty!
All eyes are on you, mate.
Right.
As scary as it is.
It's not allowing me to. It's not allowing me to share screen. I'm sorry.
Well,
Oh, do it then.
Yeah.
Come on now.
let's have a look.
We've got gremlins in the house tonight, haven't we?
We do seem to have a few. Right, let's have a look.
Yeah, no, I'm just gonna set up my iPad to be able to do the Hangouts from now on. It's a lot easier.
It'll save you some grief overall. Right. Where are we? Now I've got to find the share screen button. God damn it.
Mass toys.
We all love mass, don't we?
Mass toys.
Got to do it.
Right then. There we go.
Okay.
Oh,
So I found this web page. This is, let me just go up to it. This is the yojo.com.
Okay.
Lost my griffin, sorry. Right, so yeah, like I said, there's a few to go through if you wanted to do all of
oh
them.
wow.
And this is the 3 3/4 figures. Then there's another web page here which has all of the vehicles over the years. So
I've just realised why my thing comes up as Brian Smith, but we'll talk about it.
is it because you're a thieving bastard?
You're not. You're not Zartan, are you?
It's a work thing, but it's really shit. What a poxy like pseudonym is like. You don't think would like choose like a secret name. You would choose fucking Brian Smith. Fucking Brian Smith. Oh my god. What a poxy name.
I literally have no words.
I apologise for that's my secret name.
Right then, Cyber Tiger, do you want to talk us through these figures, if you can see
Right.
them?
I'm trying to see them because I'm on an iPhone, very small screen.
Right.
What year is that?
This is 1982 G.I. Joe figures.
Oh, right, the original Green 13.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. No, it's more than 13.
Oh yeah, the
Some of
vehicle
them are-
drivers came with the vehicles though, so don't count them.
Yeah. So like you had the likes of this is like from the G.I. Joe point of view. You had your likes of Stalker, Scarlet, I think, Tripwire. I'm trying to figure out who the original ones were now.
Here we go.
Grunts.
It's got their names if I hover over them. So we've got Breaker,
Communications
Cobra.
expert, yeah.
Cobra and then
Cobra Officer,
the one with
Flash.
silver bit.
Grunt,
Grunts, yeah,
Rock and Roll,
yeah. Heavy machine gun.
Scarlet, Short Fuse, Snake Eyes,
Snake Eyes.
Stalker, and Zap.
Zap. Oh, the laser trooper. Yeah.
And then your vehicle drivers were Clutch, Grand Slam, Hawk, and Steeler. I might just say, just as a cursory view here, Clutch and Breaker's faces look distinctly similar.
Yeah, they did reuse some of the head
Yeah.
sculpts on some.
And then you had
Hercules.
Cobra Commander as a mail-in.
Yeah.
Cobra Commander was impossible to actually find in the shops when I
That's
was
because
a
it was a
kid.
mail-in. You couldn't buy it.
No,
Mail in for it.
even like when it wasn't a mail-in though, in the second generation, it was nigh on impossible to get.
The original sort of blue version of Cobra Commander, I for some reason didn't really get released very widely in the UK. It was Destro mainly was the main villain from the Action Force comics.
Yeah.
I always
some
preferred the version 2 anyway of Cobra Commander.
Well, the one with
Does anyone remember? I got a question. Does anyone remember what Cobra Commander's original job was?
Car salesman. Was he a used car salesman?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
He got screwed by the government. Yeah.
Yeah, I just thought that was a funny twist. I read that in the Marvel comics, and I'm like, there's no way. And
Yeah.
no,
He was a fine,
it
upstanding
was
member
a
of the
pathetic
community.
used car sale.
Yeah.
I love how he was voiced by Starscream, and that was such a great.
Yeah.
Every
Chris
that-
Latta,
that-
yeah.
God, such a beautiful voice to actually have him as the yeah, fantastic.
You can almost imagine, like, if I don't sell this Buick, I will destroy the world.
Hooded Cobra Commander 788 said Clutch, Breaker, and Rock and Roll all had the same head, as did Grunt, Zap, Grand Slam, and Flash Hawk Short Fuse.
My best
Yeah.
friend from YouTube, HCC788, he's the guy that I did the Palatoy Action Force crossover video with. So if you want to see more information about that, more than I can remember tonight because it's late and my brain's shutting down, but check out HCC788 and it will be on there. You'll see it on there, the Action Force video.
This series of figures I remember more. I remember all these guys. Really,
Yeah, this
really,
was
really
series. This was 1983, the Series 2 figures.
well.
We had Airborne,
Destro,
Doc,
Doc,
Gung
Gung Ho. Is that me? Go on, Major Blood.
Major Blood, yeah.
Yes.
No Job.
What's that?
Oh God.
Yeah. No,
Torpedo.
not normally. No.
And next one you got
A lot
Sci-Fi.
of problems with things getting shipped.
Ace. Cobra Hiss Driver. Cover Girl.
Yeah, Cover Girl. I don't remember Cover Girl.
Again.
It's worth trying.
Right.
I haven't bought anything. I've just
Viper
heard from
Pilot
others.
and Wild Bill.
Wild
Might
Bill.
be an idea
I
to
remember
do.
Wild Bill.
Nail in for Duke and Major Blood.
Why would you have Major Blood
Yeah.
and then Major Blood in Mail-In?
I don't know. Oh, here's the
I say he
Airborne
looks exactly
side.
the same.
He does, for all accounts.
Yes, it is.
Holson85 said, by the way, I found Quarrel Action Force at the charity shop recently.
Wow, lucky find.
And Hooded Cobra Command 788 said, hello, Cyber Tiger.
Hey Hoodster.
Go then, Ty. Right, I found this on the car boot sale this weekend, which is a Major Blood figure.
Hang on, let me put you presenting.
Am I up?
Actually see it.
That looks like from the Neon 90s, that one.
Looks
Why
like
has
a
it got-
beetle.
why has it's got all these? Because Major Blood had like one robot arm, but this guy is just like covered in shitloads of hand grenades for some reason.
I did
Maybe
say,
what-
oh, it's a beetle, but when I saw your video and I hadn't looked at it properly from a distance, it kind of looks a bit like a beetle.
It cost me 50 pence.
Not
And
bad.
it was lovely, and I really enjoy having. I've got loads of them actually at the moment. I've got this is one of my favourite. Those was one of the Dreadnoughts, but we'll come to that one later. Won't we?
Oh,
Go back to them
Yeah,
figures. Go back
he's
to
the
them figures.
biker, wasn't he?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
dreadnoughts were just like a biker version of the. Yeah, come on, carry on.
Right then, am I presenting again?
Yeah.
Baroness.
So yes, we've got the. This was series 3 from 1984. You had Baroness,
Yes.
Blowtorch, Duke, Firefly,
Firefly.
Mutt. I can't even read that.
Is that Leatherneck?
Kondo?
Is that the Australian one that had like he had a canoe with him?
Fucking no. Rakondo,
Oh, do you mean
Tiger will
Outback?
be able to tell me.
Ripcord, Roadblock,
Robot had the massive
Scrap
gun.
Iron, Spirit, and Storm Shadow. Isn't that Dwayne the Rock Johnson?
Didn't Scrap
Yeah.
Iron have like a Scrap Iron had like a missile set with him, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
I can do
Yeah.
to shrug at you. Then your vehicle drivers, you had Clutch, Cobra Stinger, Copperhead, Cutter, Deep Six, Thunder, Wild Weasel,
Zartan.
Zartan, and the real
Zartan
one
was a boy.
was Cobra Commander version 2.
Mm.
Yeah. This
Zartan
is the one that I
was
like.
a boy.
That's my favourite Cobra.
Oh, I was wondering, has anyone discussed the G.I. Joe movies?
Yes.
Yeah, on one of my older videos. Yeah,
Not here though, no.
not here.
No, not here. But what one point I wanted to bring up was that the first movie I was really kind of disappointed with. I don't know about any of you.
Yeah.
And my biggest gripe was the fact that they took such an awesome character like Cobra Commander and spun him to be a best friend / something of
Serpentor.
Baroness and What? Wait, was he supposed to be Serpentor? I thought he was Cobra Commander.
Right.
No, Serpentor basically took over from Cobra Commander, and Cobra Commander became like a bit of a sidekick after that, didn't he?
Well, yeah, but the thing is that in the live action movie.
No. In the
Oh,
live action
yeah,
movie,
you're right. You're right.
Cobra Commander was Baroness's brother.
Yeah,
That was
and
weird.
that my biggest gripe, one of the biggest things I really hate in Hollywood, and I've discussed this with Six Shop before here, is that they feel that all these characters have to be tied together somehow beforehand and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And it's like, why can't characters not be? Why do they have to be connected like that somehow?
Yeah.
Oh,
Why
I know the
did he
answer
have
to this.
to be Duke's future brother-in-law? Really, it's weird.
Yeah,
I know the answer to all of this. The reason why they have to the reason why they have to all be tied together is because lazy fucking writing. It's if
gotta agree.
If you say this is his brother, done. That's all the story you need. You don't need anything else beyond that, and that's just there you go. You don't have
It's
to go.
like-
Oh yeah, they met doing this, and then there was all this that happened, and then they became like brothers because of this. They're brothers. Fuck it.
Yeah, and the thing that really irritated me was the fact that you've got a real life G.I. Joe out there. You've got Sergeant Slaughter, and he hasn't been utilised in any of the movies. We got that crappy Brendan Fraser cameo, didn't we, in the first movie? When he comes in on that quad bike and he goes, "There are Joes," and you just think, no.
Mm.
And then the Wayans guy, like who was he? Firefly?
Oh no, Ripcord.
Or
He was
Ripcord.
Ripcord,
I'm
wasn't he?
sorry.
Oh.
He was just useless. He was supposed to add some comedic element and whatnot. And it's like, no. The second movie I think was in fact much better. But
Firefly, it was the guy who was
in
it's in the Marvel films and oh god,
He was a saboteur, wasn't he?
Yeah, like Firefly was originally a G.I. Joe. So why did they switch him?
Ray Stevens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Knowledge.
Ray Stevenson.
That's it. British guy.
They
He's
made him
cool. He's in Rome.
I think he's Irish, isn't he?
They made him super tough
Actually,
in the second film, though, didn't they? To be fair, I mean, Firefly in Retaliation goes one-on-one with Roadblock, and Roadblock is the one that limps away from the fight. So
Yeah.
I like the fact they made him really tough.
Yeah, I like that.
Well, yeah, but the thing that bothers me is that there's so many incredible Cobra characters. Why go to a G.I. Joe one and flip him to be a bad guy?
Yeah.
I don't think they ever took the time to actually to explore the characters in the G.I. Joe, though. They kind of just made them very like two-dimensional characters and didn't really understand what the story was all about, and that's what is a bit of a shame, really, because if they actually did explore it, they could actually make a great film with the G.I. Joe characters.
Something I think that doesn't. Sorry, mate. Go.
No, you go right ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say something that I think doesn't help the G.I. Joe universe is the fact that the studio executives at Paramount and the movies and the financiers, they don't quite understand where it fits. Is it a science fiction movie? Is it a military movie? It's an easy fit with Transformers because you know what it is. It's giant robots that transform into vehicles. They can get their heads around that. But for some reason, they can't get their heads around a slightly futuristic military team.
You're right.
Hooded Cobra Commander said Major Blood was a male-in first. Then he was release carded. The figure was the same.
Okay.
And I guess they forgot about the robot arm between versions 1 and versions 2. He also said the Rise of Cobra movie was done during the writer's strike, which he thinks really hurt it, which it probably did, to be fair.
It's the Revenge of the Fallen syndrome. Yeah.
F. Stop Cornea said at the last rollout roll call, the Baroness voice actress was a guest.
Oh, wow.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's very cool. Just looking at the figures that's on the screen at the moment, Pex.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at that. I had the first one, the one that's in the yellow.
So airtight.
Airtight. I used to have that. I love that figure because his helmet was so smooth. And the colours are so vibrant. And then I used to have the last 3 on that top line.
Christmas smooth helmets.
I was waiting for Gary to say that. Yeah, that's right. I used to have Dusty, Eel, and what's the red one, Pex?
Crimson Guard.
That's it. I used to have those as well. Yeah, fantastic figures.
Chopper in the top. I used to love Chopper. Chopper in the Dreadnoughts. Yeah, he was Buzzsaw rather. Buzzsaw.
Yeah.
Buzzsaw. Why did I say Chopper? We're an idiot.
Bazooka and Buzzer.
Buzzsaw had like a gun that had a chainsaw at the end of it. How can kids not love that shit?
Well, there is that to it, yeah.
Yeah, the Dreadnoks were cool.
Yeah,
Zartan's my favourite figure from the original line, from the Cobras.
Yeah. I must admit, though, Shipwreck with his flared trousers is an absolutely fantastic character.
And Parrot.
and a parrot on his shoulder.
Yeah, Polly.
The parrot was
Why would any kid buy a figure that had flared trousers and a parrot on his shoulder? But I tell you what, there's one on there, the snow viper. Is it on the end?
Snow
serpent. That's it. He had the best accessories ever. I remember buying him as a kid, and he had everything. He had little snowshoes and guns and backpacks and all the rest of it. And you were like picking up, thinking, oh. And the twins as well. This is on the next line. What they called what were they called?
Tomax and Xamot.
Yes, great characters. Yeah. Brilliant characters.
So just talking about those guys is reminding me. I don't know if any of you guys looked at the group earlier today, but I posted a little link to a very funny short film. Did you see that? The Action Force one?
No,
I must have missed it.
Oh,
no,
proper funny.
No,
I will go and take it. I will have a look later.
Yeah. So that's just a quick mention. Don't forget, because it was absolutely hilarious. 100% hilarious. What's it called now?
It's on Funny or Die. It's called The Ballad of G.I. Joe.
The Ballad of G.I. Joe. Yeah, you need to check it out. If you look in the group, you'll see on Transformers and such. I posted it earlier today. It's not, how long is it? It's only got 5 minutes.
Yeah, something like that. It's not very long.
Yeah, it will crack you up. It's got a lot of good actors in it.
I'll have a look at that later. Yeah. All right then. Shall we crack on with these? Because this is going to Look at this. Got to take a look at that. Look at that.
Yeah.
So yeah, we went through the thing. We got Flint. You got Footloose, Lady J, Quick Kick,
Footloose. Who come up with that name?
Shipwreck, Snake Eyes again, and Snow Serpent. We've also got Televipers, Tomax, Torch, and Xmot.
Zaymot.
Zaymot, there you go, that would be correct. Crankcase as one of your vehicle drivers, Frostbite, Heavy Metal, Keelhaul, Lamprey, and Toll Booth. And then they had a Listen and Fun figure called Tripwire. I have no idea what that was, but there you go.
Oh, okay, I remember Tripwire.
Yeah, that's a repaint of one of the old original green ones.
See the one that kept falling over?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, this is Chris's era, look.
Yeah, that's my era.
Some bat here, and this
It's the Sarge.
Sarge's on there.
That one I still regret. I had
I'm
that.
bringing it back.
I saved up the points and I mailed it out for him. And
It came with like a little tank thing, and I remember it being a really great toy. And I got it when I went to York on a trip, and I was really poorly when I went to York on this trip, and it didn't have USA across the front because that'd just be shit, to be honest. But it had little vesty thing on in his big hat and massive chin. What a fantastic toy!
And that great 80s porn stash there.
Yeah. Anyways,
I'm be proud.
I'm gonna have to bid you adieu because I've got to go to bed because I've got work in the morning. So I will see you all later. I will say, Gary. Go, Joe.
Go sleep.
Good night, everybody.
Yeah, good night.
Good night, buddy.
Good night.
Catch you later.
night, bud.
Right then. I'm not going to read through all of these. Are there any there that anybody likes to look of? Because I just looked at this. This is going to take till this time tomorrow if we go through these one by one. So there was the 19.
There was. Go down a little bit more there. Because there was one I was looking at. There's another sergeant, but the very bottom one there. That one I had too, but
Thrasher.
Oh my god. Yeah. God, that was that was kind of the counterpoint to Sergeant Slaughter.
Ah.
Yeah, he was the big beefy character as well, kind of the nemesis of Sergeant Slaughter.
Ah. Oh, and then we had the 1987 lot. Good God Almighty.
Yeah, see, we were a little behind the G.I. Joes because we got the G.I. Joe sort of comic in 1987, like the Action Force UK comic.
Mm-hmm.
So that really got us into it then. So we were sort of like a couple of waves behind, really, weren't we? For a little while.
Yeah.
There's a lot here. I mean, you had 5 different males.
72, the refrigerator, wasn't it?
The fridge, yeah.
The fridge?
Yeah. William
the Refrigerator Perry.
Perry, yeah. I remember that guy.
Yeah.
It's quite interesting when you think about
he was
the real life people that could have been Joes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he was a NFL football player. He also did one of I think the first Battle Royal.
Oh, WrestleMania 2.
At a Wrestle.
Yeah, that's cool.
And Andre the Giant, and he was eliminated by Big John Studd, and then shook Big John Studd's hand and pulled him out.
Yeah.
So just looking at these figures straight away, I can see Big Boa, which I always wanted to have and I never had, and I can see my Cobra Commando, which I've got right here, is there, number 3.
Because you see, Big Boa was created to be the enemy of Rocky Balboa.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, they were trying to get Stallone to sign up for his likeness, and then there was some kind of wrangle, and Stallone pulled out.
Yeah.
It would have been great to have had Rocky in the G.I. Joe team, I think.
I think so too. And there's Crockmaster, which is number 4, is it? Number 5 in that list.
Yeah, there it is.
This fella.
Yeah, he's certainly
Yeah.
one of the more outlandish Cobras.
Yeah, I loved him as a kid. I loved playing with that figure and the crocodile that came with him. It's just so much fun.
He's got a really good
Yeah.
reimagined story in the IDW Cobra series.
Yeah.
If you've ever followed that, it's really good.
I can see out back there on the second line down in the middle. Has a fantastic beard.
Even if it is ginger.
And is that the Techno Viper?
Yes.
I've got that one here. Another one of my favourites. There you go.
You know, the third one, the Cobra Commander, the armor, I hated that. I hated that armor.
See, I love it
I
as
don't
a
know why.
kid.
It just
I love it as a kid because I could never lose in my battles with my friends because he's indestructible with that armor. He can't be killed.
I don't know. It just the whole concept. I think it was the helmet that threw me off really, because the one signature was that shield, that mirrored shield, and with that gone, it was like, well, now he's just kind of like everyone else, kind of thing.
Yeah. What I liked about it is he got like turbines in the arms, so in the fiction, so he could literally just crush anything, and he's bulletproof.
Yeah.
And if ever like you try to take off that helmet, then it's rigged to blow, so it just blows up literally everybody.
Yeah, that was a bit of a strange era for G.I. Joe, that wasn't it? Because in the comics, that's when he was sort of hanging around with Raptor, like
The bird guy.
The bird guy, yeah.
I hated the bird guy. He looked ridiculous.
Yeah, he was a strange-looking character for sure.
I'll tell you who reminded me of as a kid is Buck Rogers, that guy that used to dress up as a bird. He reminded me of him.
Or that other old film with Frank Spencer in it, Condor Man, if you remember that old comedy.
Yeah.
How the costume that he used to wear used to look. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's basically like a cracked version of one of the Silverhawks.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the thing is, I had a trouble with that is in the comic book, like these guys are running around with guns and tanks and really cool weapons, powerful weapons, and some of them do kung fu, etc. But this guy's special thing is he looks like a bird.
Yeah.
It's just what's he gonna do?
And if you read
Crap
the
on the
bio,
windscreen.
he's the Cobra accountant as well, isn't he? So he's weird.
It's like he's gone a bit cuckoo. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Crunching all those numbers. I mean, can you imagine what the insurance is like on how many his tanks get blown up in a week?
Yeah. It pushed him over the edge, I think.
Yeah. It's like, okay, how many rattlers have been shot down this week?
Hooded Cobra Commander says Thrasher was the driver of Thunder Machine, the meanest machine you've ever seen. And Holson85 says, I don't have a pick, but I saw a G.I. Joe with a goatee and mostly black outfit. Does that ring a bell?
Oh, there were so many Joe characters that had goatees and sort of dark uniforms, really, wasn't there?
Hooded Cobra Commander
Most...
just said you may be thinking of Metalhead.
Might be.
No idea.
But I don't know.
Oh, wasn't he a character from the Deke animated series? Wasn't he
I'm
one
not
of
sure.
Cobra Commander's minions in that? I'm trying to remember now.
I'm not sure.
I might be getting confused. I might be thinking that he's one of the Iron Grenadiers. Oh, I might be thinking of Voltar, maybe.
Speaking of the Iron Grenadiers, here you go.
Hey, here we go. Yeah. That's when Destro broke away from Cobra.
Yeah. Love those guys.
With like the Cobra Civil War.
Transformers and Beer said, hello everyone, great topic. I wish I had more vintage G.I. Joe figures in my collection.
Hey,
Anyways,
hello,
I saw a few familiar faces on this chat and thought I'd pop in and say hi. Cheers.
Hello M, hello Joe.
Hi guys.
Hello.
And And Hooded Cobra Man says, yeah, he was in the DIC series. And it's right, it is Metalhead. Because Bolson just said, yes, Metalhead, thanks.
When in doubt.
Guys, I'm really sorry, but I'm going to have to call it a night soon as well.
No problem.
I unload trucks for a living, and I need to be awake to do that. I'm afraid.
No
Yeah,
worries
that,
at all.
that
mate.
sounds
you
like
very
something
much.
you'd need.
Thank you for inviting me along. Now I know what to do.
There will always be problems with that.
But
That's
it's been
true.
very, very nice to meet you all, Steve. You rock. So take
Yes, he does.
Thank you
peace,
kindly.
brother. Take care, mate. And
Catch you
I'll see
later.
Take
all
care.
of
See you
you.
later, buddy.
I'll see all of you soon on our little corner of YouTube.
Absolutely. Take care, buddy.
Yeah, all the
Later.
best, mate.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Good night.
Good
No.
night. So just to finish off, Pex, do you want to just quickly scan through
Right.
these? Just quickly pick out a few standout figures the next few minutes.
Righto. Well, that was the 87s. Here's your 88 lineup.
It's a very good year.
Lots of purple.
It's
in this
vintage.
It is. It is vintage. Now I can see just the one you scroll past there. I can see the Storm Shadow that I had. Can you see him there?
year.
Oh yeah, I had him too.
I don't know who I'm looking for.
The white one.
The second row, second from the last.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, I love that. I love the hood. I love the wolf he came with and the bow that he had. And I'm also seeing there you've got the top one just above him actually.
I had that.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah.
Voltar. Oh my god.
There you go. There you go. I actually did have some Joe figures at some point, but
You know that Voltar one. I actually thought that one was from a different line. Previously, I saw it. A friend of mine had it, and I was like, "What's that from? Voltron?"
all I need to say is this: imagine take that figure, but then put a panel right there on the chest.
Visionaries.
There you go.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That is literally all it's missing there.
If you scroll up, Pex, the one just above the Storm Shadow, is it this guy?
Hydro Viper.
Hydra Viper, another one of my favourites growing up. Love this figure so much. He's he comes with a little ray, a little black ray, and I've got that here as well. He's loads of fun. Great figure. He comes with flippers.
Flippers and anything else, or
He came with a dagger, and he also comes with this. I've got him complete. He comes with the little harpoon gun as well. And he's basically like a genetically modified human. So I think they start out as part of the eel team, which is from a previous year. And then they develop them into the Hydra Vipers where they have webbed feet and hands.
Milt.
Yeah. Very awesome.
now one thing, going back to Storm Shadow there, in regards to the movies, were the castings of both Storm Shadow and Snake Eye not spot on?
Yeah. Yeah.
Simply fantastic. Ray Park as Snake Eyes, you couldn't get from much better.
Yeah. Mr. Darth Maul himself.
Yeah.
I agree totally. And the Storm Shadow as well. It's just fantastic.
Yeah.
Probably the two best characters, to be honest.
Yeah, the two best characters, I'd say, because they had a lot of stunts to do, a lot of choreography to do. The others had some, but they had definitely the most, I would say.
Well, you said when we watched the second film, and there's that whole scene between the two of them, and they're running along the mountains and everything, and it's like, that's like comic book accuracy.
It is, yeah. It was crazy good. Come on,
Yeah,
Pex, what's
unreal,
next?
but awesome.
Let's have a look, shall we?
Yeah, very unreal. List, Pex.
Let's have a look.
Seeing the Iron Grenadier there, which we've already looked at.
Yeah, the 89, the class of 89. There you go. They're going a lot more gaudy, I've noticed.
Yeah.
Very realistic,
Yeah.
very, you know, Slaughter's Marauders there. But then, yeah, they seem to have got, look, I'm bright feckin' orange. Look at me, I'm even more bright orange. Ah,
But
defeated
they
you.
like to blend in.
Yeah, with lava. And then 90,
You know that
ooh, they calmed down a little bit,
it-
90. Just a touch.
Yeah, so, some of the GI Joe outfits were, you know, so neon, so 80s, and it just reminded me of that one scene from Family Guy where Peter is walking through Vietnam in a clown outfit, going, "Oh yeah, you guys, you know, they're looking for guys like you, you know."
It's about right.
Yeah.
You know, they're never going to expect me. You know?
But yeah, there's your class of 90. Weirdly enough, 90 that calm themselves down a touch. Not entirely.
And then not long after this, like they kept going with the 375 inch, but not long after that, they went to something GI Joe Sigma 6, and there was something in between these and Sigma 6 that, you know, larger figures but less articulation, and it was bloody weird.
Yeah.
I don't know when they ended doing the 3.75 size, but
That guy's look distinctly
Yeah.
likes the Punisher.
Oh yeah.
like honest to God, some of the designs and colors of some of these things are like, wait, when did Ray Charles start designing? You know, there are some colors here that should not see the light of day. You know,
You mean like
Yeah.
combat bat, a cobra bat? I mean, the fact that it's a bat, well, you know, bat, therefore blind as that explains the color scheme.
I mean, I actually quite like some of the garish colours. I think on certain ones, if they're already an outlandish mould sort of thing. But I think where they try to make a normal combat soldier and then they give them ridiculous colours, that just doesn't make any sense at all.
Look, I'm an eco warrior. I wear something that looks like toxic waste.
pretty much there.
Taking the idea of Captain Planet and fucking flipping that shit.
Yeah, and some of them are quite almost naked as well, which is interesting because it makes you wonder where they're actually fighting. You know, it's,
Well, you never know.
Beaches the Costa del Sol. Come on then. Yeah, I'll have you in a minute. Just let me finish this margarita, mate. All right? Oh, yeah, don't worry. I've got a beer here.
Ibiza.
And this guy's obviously fighting in the 1970s because that's one hell of a suit.
Can you highlight? Can you bring that one up, because I don't remember that one at all.
This man is Headman.
Headman.
head of what?
He's a drug kingpin. Headman was recently
part of
92. The Drug Elimination Force, or DEF. He was continuing
Yeah.
dismissed a year later.
Is that like before the DEA?
Mhm.
Yeah. Can you enlarge one of the pictures of him, the front one?
Oh my
Wow.
Look
Oh.
at,
That looks
look at
like-
those shoes.
Hang on, could
It
this
looks like
be,
something out of.
could this be the figure that
It looks
there
like a
was
zoot suit.
Mhm.
what,
Oh,
was
look
it,
at the ponytail.
didn't somebody ask a question
Oh, that's impressive.
about a figure in black with a goatee?
Yeah, that he would know there was a ponytail.
Yeah, true.
That
That's an
ponytail.
impressive ponytail. Blonde and everything. Wavy.
It
Wait
doesn't-
a second. Look at the mustache.
Yeah, it doesn't match, does it?
The curtains do not match the
And the
dress.
hair. You know, it's weird. He looks like Zorro wearing a zoot suit and a
and a fedora.
and a blonde wig. Yeah, like
Oh,
oh wow, this just got silly.
Oh,
Oh.
we've been dealing with G.I. Joe for the last few hours.
Oh.
Yeah,
I mean-
but like that's it's a goddamn zoot suit.
Is
It
that-
looks like the 1940s.
All I'm saying is this. This is Toxo Zombie. I say no more about it.
Oh god.
That
Oh wow.
that was created by a child with too much Play-Doh.
Yeah.
And some really fucking garish
That-
fellas of Play-Doh, mind.
Like the question is, who designed that, and were they paid money for that design, and can they get that money back? Like,
Oh, look, it's the brother.
it,
Oh, my, it's,
oh
is this a
come
diver?
on!
that's Deep Six.
Oh, it
Is
comes
this-
to the fish.
Is this his head a luminescent green?
Yes.
Oh dear Christ! Please tell me that's like a diving mask or something.
Yeah, I think it's meant to be. If not,
Oh.
he's very, very unwell. He did come with some sort of very aggressive-looking porpoise. Oh, I'm sorry. Look at that face.
Yeah, you don't mess with that one.
Yeah.
Right, look at that.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, that's a nasty looking evil
That's-
kind of dolphin there.
Yeah, that's a hornless narwhal fucked a really aggressive dolphin and created that.
Yeah, it's like, you know, a dolphin's cool, but let's combine it with a shark.
No, it would look more friendly if it was a shark. I'll tell you what that is. That's the fucking the face of a basilosaurus attached to a fucking dolphin. And I should know
Yeah.
I've been playing far too much Ark. That is a basilosaurus face right there.
Mm.
Oh dear lord. Yeah, they got a little silly. So
Now that if you go up a little bit, the third version of Storm Shadow, the Ninja Force, he's the black and gray one, second from the end,
mhm.
and that I think is one of the best suits I've ever seen for him. Now, one of my favorite designs of the Storm Shadow figure.
Yeah, that is pretty cool, actually.
Storm Shadow meets Sub-Zero.
So just to finish off the podcast, one of the things I wanted to ask, and I meant to ask the others actually, do we have any grails from Action Force G.I. Joe that we've managed to get, and is there any that's outstanding?
I'm not sure about the Action Force. What do you know, like might be a different thing
So
over in England, because
in the UK, we used to call G.I. Joe Action Force, and then years later it changed to G.I. Joe. The original Action Force and G.I. Joe was an English company based in Leicester called Palitoy. And
Okay.
Hasbro procured Palitoy and changed the name to Action Force, and then later on changed the name to G.I. Joe.
English, please.
it's pretty funky.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the Holy Grail figures. For me, would be getting the third version Storm Shadow there.
Yeah.
There's a couple in there that I would love to get, but don't really have too many of them. My big thing is still obviously Transformers, but
Yeah.
occasionally I do find the one. You know, like the ultimate Storm Shadow figure I did get was one of my Holy Grails.
Sure.
Oh.
That's pretty cool. What about yourself, Pex?
I've never been into G.I. Joe in any way, shape, or form. But as of right now, I have a Holy Grail.
What's that?
Okay, now I'm pissed.
Headman.
Yeah.
You want it now?
Yeah.
Now I know it exists.
Of course, yeah. You know, that one's a kind of must-have now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can understand that for you, Pex. Straight on to eBay.
What's that?
£11 with £11 postage.
Oh, there you go. He's found him. Is
Oh my good God! Look at the garish orange.
Sorry.
that a KO? Version 2.
Yeah,
Is
the
it-
2002
it's-
version.
Oh wow. He's in orange.
Yeah, that's
He looks like he looks like he's wearing a prison outfit.
yeah, just a bit. Oh, there you go. You can get Cobra General Tomahawk versus Headman.
Holson 85
wow.
says pimp.
Pimp is the right way.
380 for 457 for that figure. Oh wow.
And weapons like
Hey.
Energon RC.
But if you convert that to Canadian, though, it's probably, what, 4 times more?
Yeah.
Right, here you go.
I thought it was about double, a little over double, but
It might be.
There is none for sale in the UK. Well, not
Oh.
under 52 quid anyway.
It may not have been released in the UK originally, though.
Mm-hmm.
That's always one possibility. So what about yourself, Nat? Is there any that you like? Lady J, Scarlet, Destro,
I think you've always got to have a
Baroness?
a Baroness. I think Baroness is cool.
Yeah,
I love the collar.
Mindbender's pretty good.
Mm.
I think for myself, I'd like to get Big Burr. I'd like to get, because I missed him as a kid, you know. So that was always interesting to me. And just some of the ones I had as a kid, I'd like to get again. And obviously, I've got these few that I've shown, but I'd like to get more. So more of the ones I used to have, and yeah, I think over time I'll be picking those up. I'd love to have that Red Skull tank. That was absolutely awesome.
Pardon me?
yeah, one thing I do want to get is nothing too fancy. Just I want to get another Hiss tank.
Oh, you want to build a little convoy of those?
And have been released this year.
I can see them coming out. Did you just say, Pex, that they're releasing them this year?
There's none currently on the list, but there's last year's.
Yeah, I can see a Hiss tank coming out, a new version, because of the crossover with Transformers.
The last vehicles apparently
That-
came out in 2015.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh, so, some of those. Is the GI Joe Chimera just a repaint of the Hiss tank?
yeah, it looks like it. In green instead of red.
Was that? Yeah. There's-
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's last year's Hiss tank.
It's in orange. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those were.
See,
those were
that's the thing.
Cobra. Those were convention exclusives, which obviously, yeah, they're always going to be repaints, aren't they?
That Sky Striker, what was that? What that the in the Cobra Scythe? Like, wasn't there a Starscream version of that or something?
It's an F-15, isn't it? So it could be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that was another convention exclusive. Might have been from a few years back there. I'm not. I honestly can't remember exact details of it, but yeah, it was pretty wicked looking. I think it came with either a Destro figure or
Autobot Jetfire.
or a Cobra Commander.
We got Jetfire and Hound appeared in
Yeah.
2013 as convention exclusive. What was 14? Did I miss that? There was another Hiss tank, but that was it. 2012. The Shockwave Hiss tank.
Yeah, we're going to see more and more of this stuff. And I think with the mask as well, we're going to see the crossover with mask become a big thing.
Yeah, I could see that being a thing. Yeah, definitely.
As we discussed on our last podcast.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah,
guys.
some nice looking stuff, but yeah.
Well, I think that about wraps it up for this episode. So I've enjoyed this. It's been quite a trip down memory lane with some of these figures and vehicles. No doubt about it.
It's been
Yeah, sorry, I missed so much of the podcast there.
technical issues happen,
They do.
especially around
Yeah.
this podcast.
Yeah.
Whatever
It's like
history
it's
of it.
doomed.
Yeah, no, I'm
Absolutely.
just not even going to bother with the browsers anymore for laptop. I'm just going to use the Hangout app because at least it's reliable. It works. So,
Yeah.
literally, I downloaded it, got it up and running and in within a minute.
Yeah.
There you go
This-
then.
It's handy.
So, yeah, so I'll set it up on my iPad, and there won't be any of these technical issues next time.
No, just for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, something else will go wrong for somebody else. That's just the rules.
Right then, guys. Well, I'll take us offline. So thanks everybody who's watched this podcast. It's been a lot of fun, and so we'll have another one after TF Nation. Now, obviously, it's happening in just under a couple of weeks' time. So we'll be all focusing now on our meets at the convention, and we'll have haul videos coming up and all that good stuff.
We will.
So stay
I am
tuned for that.
so envious of you guys.
Yeah.
Oh, you're
Yeah.
going to the TF Nation and that. Oh man, I so want to go one of these years.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's a good
yeah,
time.
it's oh no doubt. Like last year, you guys teasing me. You got that Striker Optimus Prime, and I don't know if you got the Megatron version
Yeah.
of that as well.
Yeah, Nat's got both of them.
Oh,
I got both of them, yeah.
me no like you. One thing though, I did order and I've got coming, and I think you might even be a little envious of, is the Optimus Prime that transforms into a pen.
Oh, I've heard about this.
I've
Yeah,
heard of that
yeah,
one.
I've heard of that. Yeah,
Oh, it looks cool, unbelievable articulation, and yeah, it transforms into a pen.
Wicked.
I saw it and I was like, oh, that is so stupid. I must have it.
but his robot mode looks insane, doesn't it?
Yeah, it looks absolutely epic, but
Is that the one that they did a Nemesis Prime version of as well?
Is there any last comments on that?
possibly.
I know they did a few years ago.
Not sure.
There was one a few years ago that there was an Optimus pen, and then they also recolored it as a Nemesis. At one
Yeah,
point.
I think they did that and a white one for Ultra Magnus.
Oh, they might have done as well. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, it kind of comes standard. Whenever you do an Optimus Prime mold, you do a black and a white one as well as Nemesis and Ultra.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's just par for the course now.
it is.
It's just the done thing.
Right then, guys, I will bid you farewell, and
Indeed.
I'll catch you all soon. Bye bye.
Bye.